Get this Jubilee right fast. Kept 85 times in the book of Acts. Defended with a lie in the book of Maccabees. If the Most High of Majesty, then you know passages at churches is really Pharisees. Gathering and fellowship and on the wrong day. Turn the real Sabbath to a clearance sale, long day. A bunch of buy one get one free and half off. Satan take your currency and get a laugh off. Look at your sheep, break your sign, Father. I told you I could be like you. Look how I got him. Father, put this day aside for study and rest. Ain't supposed to break a sweat, a pant in your breath. But 6 days out the week, shout thy labor. One day was sacred, toil free, and it's fun created. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob carried. Cause on the seventh day he rested. Shabbat Shalom on the Sabbath. Open my eyes on the Sabbath. Rise on the Sabbath, up and at it. Shabbat Shalom on the Sabbath. Study my best on the Sabbath. Rest on the Sabbath, up and at it. Shabbat Shalom on the Sabbath. Open my eyes on the Sabbath as I rise on the Sabbath, up and at it. Shabbat Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. And if you're gonna buy or sell, holla back at us, Macaw. Let me give you the rundown. Friday is sundown, and Saturday is sundown. Shabbat, that's one down. God, you know the plan. Had a good book in my hand with a sermon in the background. Listen to the man. Listen to who got an ear, let them hear. No fear, the sign of between yours, his, and mine. It's really big. Could've died Friday, could've died Thursday. Understand and respect this commandment. It's not a work day. Pharaoh been cracking his whip to turn the heat up. Now I got a sweet cup, eliminate my feet up. And I've been gazing in this book so long that every time I try to look up, my eyesight long. I'm not jumping, not running, not walking. If you're gonna discuss some nonsense, I ain't even talking. I'm not twisting, not stupid, not bending, not cooking, not tripping. The ending, Shabbat Shalom on the Sabbath. Open my eyes on the Sabbath. Rise on the Sabbath, up and at it. Shabbat Shalom on the Sabbath. Study my best on the Sabbath. Rest on the Sabbath, up and at it. Shabbat Shalom on the Sabbath. I'm at home on the Sabbath. I ain't going on no Sabbath. Check my status. Shabbat Shalom, 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 Shalom. And if you wanna buy or sell, holla back at us, Macaw. Shabbat Shalom. And if you wanna buy or sell, holla back at us, Macaw. You wanna buy or sell, got to holla back. That's the Jubilee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Excellent. Exclusive styles in the building. Shalom, shalom.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put it in the Hebrew, get it in the Abiyah one time. That's the Jubilee. What you mean by that? Start there. That's the Jubilee. I think they heard you get it in the Babylon. Let them get it in the Babylon. That's the Jubilee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get it in the Hebrew. Let's get out of here. That's the Jubilee. Let's go. Shabbat Shalom, family. Come on. Shalom, Shabbat, and what's that? That's the Jubilee. Come on. Shalom, Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome to the Hebrew state of being. We are your humble servants and hosts for tonight. I am Kayel and my sister Tamar will be in the building reading tonight. We have the frankincense and myrrh blowing, and as you may have seen, the titles of the show tonight is False Prophets, Part 1. Yeah, there's so many false prophets in this time right now that really couldn't be done in one show. My sister's putting together a Nephilim, a show that we're all going to connect with next week. We're going to truly get deep into this serpent seed, as well as this seed of Cain, as well as these Nephilim, as well as these fallen angels, the watchers. We're going to get really deep into that. And the reason that we're getting deep into that is because in the end days, they said there will be false prophets and that there will be so many lies that it would almost deceive the elect. So as we are striving to be in that number of the elect, we must study to show thyself approved. And that's what this is going to be. This tonight is going to be the kickoff, and next week we're going to really go into some things. We're going to get into the native or the it's kind of hard to figure out how you want to say it, but the people that are present day considered to be Indians in the Northeast and Midwest of North America. We're going to get into their understanding of the Nephilim, as well as their understanding of the spirits and how it relates to Yasharale. So it's going to be a very interesting week. I suggest, I don't know, we got, you can go on twitch.tv, which is where we are broadcasting through. We are also on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And on Instagram, we're on New Orleans Black Mask and NOLA, and we're also on Hebrew State of Being, all going out right now. Because, as my brother Aaron on Facebook has expressed that they are blocking this show, this feed, little us, that as he tries to put watch parties together, as he tries to send this old clips to other people, they're not allowing them to see the clips. They are taking me off of different administrative platforms on Facebook as we speak. The first week we got back into YouTube last week, we were given a warning. So we have to understand that it's going to get even tighter when it comes to information being out there. So, I thank the Most High for all of you out here that are on your Friday night and your Shabbat and spending it with us and getting this information, because information will be sparse coming. I see it said, I'm new in the truth, tapping and pulling precepts here and little there. Yes, all praises to the new ones in the building, man. Everybody that's new in this walk, man. Let's just give a shout out. You know what, sister? We've never given a shout out to the new people that's getting into the walk. You know what I'm saying?
Most High on this Shabbat. That's fitting right now on the Shabbat.
Yes. Welcome. You know what I'm saying? Because this ain't an easy walk, but it is a narrow path, but it is full of halal, and that's Paleo Hebrew for praise. There's nothing but barakas. That's the Paleo Hebrew word for blessings, barakas, right? So there's nothing but halal and barakas here when you follow this walk. The only problem we get when you take this walk, and just to give you a warning, the only problem is going to come from yourself. How much you love everybody else that doesn't understand your walk and what they say to you and how they interpret your walk is going to be ultimately what's going to be the hardest thing for you to know that you know, or to follow what their ridicule is, So all praises to the Most High, and that's for all newcomers, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you, I think 4 years in this, 4 or 5 years in this, and it's still the same thing as it was when I first came in. People not going to understand this. Your family members, for me, I'm a little lucky because, the things we've been talking about for so long is now coming to fruition, and I've been saying it to my family. So now my family's like, oh, maybe you might have something right there. I don't want to admit it. I don't want to admit it, but maybe you got something. No, maybe. And then you'll find that as you continue in this walk that you're going to have many people that may scoff you as you give them the truth, but they will come back to you to clarify the words as the truth, and the Most High will work in their life, because you are not an accident, and being here on Shabbat is not an accident, and him tapping you for you to know the truth is not an accident. And with great reward comes responsibility. And that responsibility is to be messianic, to speak it, to give it. And we do this for free. So it's not a game that's to be sold. It's a game to be told, right? Now I'm talking about. So tonight, man, as I said, we got my young warrior, young hunter in the building, Jordan in the building. Yes, you know what I'm saying?
I know it's too late, but I came here on time.
Yep, you got here on time, but you know, like Jordan will attest, and all of you out there will attest, this has been quite a week full of tense moments, ups, downs. This is what Hebrews look forward to. It is peace on the battlefield. It is peace from the rhetoric. It is the opportunity to be wrapped up in the Most High. It's an opportunity to have him talk to you. It's an opportunity for you to take your week or your entire life into measure and give it to him, for him to give you clarity and understanding for the things you have gone through, and be thankful for the fruits of your labor, whether it be your children, your home, whatever it may be that the Father has blessed you in your life with. This is the day to take stock in that and be thankful for that, whether it just be a roof over your head, whether it be, as in New Orleans, power tonight, right? As many are still without power in New Orleans. So, you know, for the ones that have power, all praises. For the ones that are getting some Wi-Fi connections, all praises. For the ones that have lost damage on their homes, we pray that the Most High is only doing this as a way for you to level up, as a lesson for you to level up anything that has come unto you in this. And for the ones that have been covered through this, well, you know, all praises, the Most High knows you couldn't handle no more. So he covered you and kept you safe and in this time, in that hour of the hurricane. So as we also know, it's not just hurricanes that's going, even though New Orleans been hit like 5, 6, 7 times in this season. That is not over, as we are coming fast upon the Hellenation celebration. The Hellenation celebration, you know. Yeah, you don't know what I mean? It's the time when children hate Hebrews. Because we don't have no candy to give, because we don't support this holiday that they call Halloween, we know as Samhain. Here on Hebrew State of Being, we've done so many on this demonic holiday, where it came from the Celtics, from the Celtics, all the way to its European, more European than Ireland roots, how it was transformed here. And I would definitely suggest any of you guys, especially if you are not sure what to grab in scripture, if you want to just get in the word and get understanding, and our shows is just too long, go to Truth Unedited. Truth Unedited has has great videos in shorter formats with graphics. It's what we aspire to be. We shouts out to the brother, you know what I'm saying, has done serious kingdom work. But in Truth Unedited, and I'll pull that up right here for you guys while we're on the screen, because you can see it. You know, I could at least do that for the brother, huh? Because if you are interested in understanding this Halloween, he has a great video on it, and that's his channel, Truth Unedited. And you'll see it right here, the history of Halloween. He did it 2 years ago, right? So please, you know, subscribe to this brother's channel. He does great kingdom work. But as I said, if you're not sure what to pull upon, you need some inspiration, please check out the brother's videos. Truth Unedited has done great kingdom work. So Halloween is tomorrow night. All the kids are going to be dressing in this Howl's Eve attire. Superheroes, you know, when you look at Batman, it's a cross between a bat and a man. It's actually, if you look at it from a biblical perspective, you're talking about a hybrid between a human and a animal, same as it was in Egypt, right? Same as they have painted on their walls. So when we see that these holidays are directly connected to fallen angel divination religions, you understand why it is so widely accepted by all nations and by pretty much all nations and all religions, right? The religions wrap themselves around something that is of its conception evil. Right? So but that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? We've been hearing about that forever and a day. We all understand, that Halloween is about devils, and then you got the Hispanic community, Latin community. What you say, my sister, is the dead,
Dead, Night of the Dead.
Night of the Dead. They're gonna be celebrating Night of the Dead. And then right after that, you'll have, I think, All Saints or something like that. All Saints Day.
All Saints, and then All Souls Day.
All Saints and All Souls Day, which is all wrapped up in Catholicism, which, as we know, Catholicism comes from its inception of Gothic. You know what I'm saying? It really comes from the medieval Gothic empires, right, where they fashioned this Christianity that they have behind their pagan concepts, their pagan ideologies, and the world in which we live in right now, right? So, tonight and kicking off with it being Shabbat, we want to be extra prayed up tonight. We really want to have our prayers in order and our spirit in order, because this is high evil spirit time. This is times when spirits are trying to enter bodies. This is the time when you have witches and warlocks that are actually trying to conjure up, summons these spirits that's been here forever and a day. So, as everyone is walking around and frolicking and enjoying what is seeming to be a fun time, this is energy that is being given on their most holy day of the year. Understand that for Satanists, Halloween is their number one, just like the Christians or the Catholics, their number one holiday is Easter, right? That's their big pagan, out of all their holidays, that's the big one. For Satanists, Halloween is that for them. And they are trying to conjure, and the energies that but people put into it unknowingly is giving praise because you are following in their rituals. So your energy, your revelry, your drunkenness, your doing whatever, all of that is giving energy unto this night that is their night. I know that you was like, what? You mean me going to a party and putting on a costume is helping out evil spirits? I'm just going to get a drink. I'm just dressing up like my childhood cartoon. What are you talking about? That's what it's all about. That the Howl's Eve is about masking. It's about allowing the beast in you or conjuring the beast that you want to consume you or overtake you. So that's what it was in the beginning. Now you think it's just admiration for the Iron Man suit, or admiration or a sarcastic admiration for the devil's suit with the little tail coming out. But you're actually vowing, you're actually giving praise unto them and their energy. So it's more, and all of this is more than what meets the eye, as they say in the Transformers, right? It's more than meets the eye. So understanding that, we're going to segue into what our lesson is on tonight. And our lesson is about false prophets. In this last hour, so many things are going to be provided as deception for us in the name of being salvation. They're going to present answers which are going to appear to be salvation, but it's going to actually be their created, get it, their created scenario of chaos in which they can then say they have the answer for the calm. Same as coronavirus, they created. All of a sudden, they got to make everybody wait or make everybody beat down the door for it. And then all of a sudden, it turns into a mandatory thing. If it's good for everybody and somebody's sick, you think they want to take it, why you got to make it mandatory? That's just an odd thing to me. I mean, if somebody got medicine for me, you got to make me take it. I want it because I want to be healthy. But this doesn't seem to be that. So when we are looking at these present day things that are going to be happening, we understand our prophecies. That's why you have to read to know thyself approved. And Daniel's prophecies of end times, along with Revelations, is something that we need to get aware or acquainted with in this hour, because it's going to let you know what you're seeing. It's going to allow you to decipher the news and the things that are going to be in the sky. You will understand what CERN and what Bluebeam is and what HARP and DARPA is. You'll begin to understand why the anomalies of the weather is happening the way it is. Then you'll understand, well, the prophecy says that this will happen and that will happen. And then you will look at and see as the volcanoes and earthquakes are erupting and typhoons are coming from that. So understanding Daniel and Revelations will help you understand the news and the propaganda that's going to be coming forth. Books such as Enoch that we're going to get into tonight, as well as Jubilees, will help you understand the luminaries, the things that are going to be in the sky. You'll know what is supposed to be in the sky and what is not. And you'll understand what each angel is supposed to be bringing up the Most High. So if something else comes, even though it may look like an angel, if it is not doing what the book said it is supposed to do, then that is something we should run away with. It can be that simple for you. Where other people will be confounded, where other people will not know if it's real or it's not, you will be able to say, okay, the angels of the Most High said that each seal was going to bring this, and then this will bring that. And you'll see this lie in front of you, and you'll say, well, that doesn't fit in what I know, and that's not in the order of what I know is to come. I know that this is a fraud. I should not be afraid of this. This is what they call a false flag. So let's get into false flagging. But we're gonna first, before we go into the false flag, we're going to blow our shofar, and then we're going to go into our scripture of Enoch. So Enoch can explain to us what is supposed to be in the sky, and then we will go into what is actually in the sky right now. And I have my shofar blast right here. Sorry. There we go. Selah, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. So as we are getting into our Enoch. You got Enoch already? See, you can tell when somebody gets some new scripture, right? They ready, you know. The young Jordan 72. 72. The young Jordan has got him new scriptures, and he is just ready to rock and roll.
But I want to tell you is I got a separate.
That's right. That's right. He has graduated from the children's Bible. All right, my sister Tamar, when you are ready, we are ready.
First Enoch,
72.
chapter 72. The revolutions of the luminaries of heaven. The Sefer of the revolutions of the luminaries of heaven, according to their respective classes, their respective powers, their respective periods, their respective names, the places where they commence their progress, and their respective months, which Uriel, the holy angel, who was with me, explained to me. He who conducted them, the whole account of them, according to every year of the world forever, until a new work shall be effected, which will be eternal.
Eternal.
This is the first law of the luminaries. The sun and the light arrive at the gates of heaven, which are on the east, and on the west of it at the western gates of heaven. I beheld the gates from where the sun goes forth, and the gates where the sun sets, in which gates also the moon rises and sets, and the conductors of stars among those who precede them, 6 at the rising and 6 at the setting of the sun, all these respectively, one after another, are on a level, and numerous windows are on the right and on the left sides of those gates. First proceeds forth the great luminary, which is called the sun, the orb of which is as the orb of heaven.
Is that the orb of what?
Heaven.
Mm.
The whole of it being replete with splendid and flaming fire. Its chariot, where it ascends, the wind blows.
Which verse are you on, sister?
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. The sun sets in heaven, and returning by the north to proceed towards the east, is conducted so as to enter by that gate and illuminate the face of heaven. In the same manner, it goes forth in the first month by the great gate. It goes forth through the fourth of those 6 gates, which are at the rising of the sun. And in the fourth gate, from which the sun rises in the first month, there are 12 open windows, from which issues out a flame. When they are open in their proper periods, when the sun rises in heaven, it goes forth through this fourth gate 30 days, and by the fourth gate in the west of heaven on a level when it descends. During that period, the day is lengthened from the day, and the night curtailed from the night by 30 days. And then the day is longer by 2 parts than the night. The day is precisely 10 parts, and the night is 8. The sun goes forth through this fourth gate and sets in it and turns to the fifth gate during 30 days, after which it proceeds from and sets in the fifth gate. Then the day becomes lengthened by a second portion, so that it is 11 parts, while the night becomes shortened and is only 7 parts. The sun now returns to the east, entering into the 6th gate and rising and setting in the 6th gate 31 days, on account of its signs. At that period, the day is longer than the night, then twice the night, and become 12 parts. But the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. Then the sun rises up, that the day may be shortened and the night lengthened. That's daylight saving time.
Now, I want to apologize to everyone because Enoch is one of those books that are not canonical, meaning that they're not part of the 66. Enoch is also outside of the Apocrypha, right? So it's not in your King James. And we have the Sefer as the scriptures that we read from because it restores the ancient names. So online, unfortunately, I cannot get the Sefer for free online, right? To be able to let you guys see it. So you're reading online, you're seeing Enoch, but it does not relate to what my sister is saying, right? Because where she says gates, we have portals on here, right? Where she says 31 days, it says 31 mornings, right? So, it's I do apologize that we can't give you, the translation, that we can't give you the exact thing that my sister is reading so that you can follow along in that manner. But understand that that when it is saying on here, as if we're reading in 13, and it returns to the east and enters into the 6th portal, she was saying the gate, and rises and sets in the 6th gate, 1 and 30 mornings. So that's 31 days. It would say the 31 days on account of its sign. So that's how the translation from what you heard her say, 31 days on account of its sign. It says the portal, 1 and 30 mornings. So, forgive the translation, but that's why I haven't been stopping her and is letting her read through it, because to try and explain what she read, according to what you just saw, would not work. So what I want you guys to get out of this right now is the fact that the luminary is the brightest orb as the heavens. All right. So we're talking about the sun. There is not 2 heavens. There aren't 2 2 luminaries that would have the light of the sun. Also, the sun is directed. The Most High that created this sun directs it in these different portals, and that's part of our covenant. Our covenant is that the sun is going to rise every day, and that the sun is going to rise in the east and set in the west, right? And that the moon will come out at night as the lesser light to provide light for us after the sun sets. This is explaining how it moves in Enoch 72, how the Most High has the law, and that's how we should look at this. To be inside the Most High, to be in accordance with the Most High, to be yoked with the Most High, is to be of his law, to be his law. So the sun and the moon directives that they are getting, that we're being given through Enoch, is their law. And it is the covenant that he has with us as we follow him and follow his law, that he will keep his end of the bargain, his end of the covenant. So the sun, the moon, and the stars, as well as what we know as a rainbow, which is also another addition of his covenant from him flooding the earth and his promise that he would not end the earth in the same manner. So as you're going to 72, it is speaking of the laws that bind the son, that is part of the covenant that the Father has with his seed. And I know that may have been a lot to get to that point, but that's what the sun is. And when you read Enoch 73, it's going to explain how the moon, the lesser light, gets its light from this giant orb that is bright as the heavens. So the moon does not have its own light. It has the residual light of the power that comes from the sun. All right, my sister, continue to read. I think we're on 14.
20.
20. And yours starts off with on that day is equalized.
Verse 20.
That's the same thing you have?
No, my verse 20 starts, and the sun returns toward the east, entering into the 6th gate.
I think that's the first part.
11 parts. Yep, we did that part. And on that day, the creates 2 parts of the mountain. Okay, you can go ahead. I think we're at 19 for what is your 20. You can go ahead.
And the sun returns towards the east, entering into the sixth gate, where it rises and sets for 30 days. When that period is completed, the day becomes shortened precisely 1 part, so that it's 11 parts, while the night is 7 parts. Then the sun goes from the west, from that sixth gate, and proceeds eastwards, rising in the fifth gate for 30 days, and setting again westward in the fifth gate of the west.
Wow, this one is so different. That 21, it says for us, and the sun rises from the portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east and rises 30 mornings in the third portal, not the sixth. I think you said you had 6.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
a major mistranslation.
And sets in the west in the third portal. And you're saying yours is 6th gate, right?
Oh. And the sun returns towards the east, entering into the sixth gate, where it rises and sets for 30 days. When that period is completed, the day becomes shortened precisely 1 part, so that it is 11 parts instead of 12. I'm saying, while the night is 7 parts. The night still remains 7 parts. Okay. Then the sun goes from the west, from that sixth gate, and proceeds eastward, rising in the fifth gate for 30 days, and setting again westwards in the fifth gate of the west.
When we have that's 21 for us, it says, and the sun rises from the portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east and rises 30 mornings in the third portal, and sets in the west.
Well, now.
In the third portal. Yeah, we can go on to 22. But you guys
that was my 2, so you want to go on to 23?
Yeah, I'm going to read this 22 for them. And on the day that night becomes longer than the day, and the night becomes longer than night, and day shorter than day till the 13th morning, and the night amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. And the sun rises from the third portal and sets in the third portal in the west and returns to the east. And for 30 mornings rises in the second portal in the east, and in like manner sets in the second portal of the west of the heavens. And on that day amounts to 11 parts on that day into 7 parts. And the sun rises on that day from the second portal and sets in the west in the second portal, and returns to the east into the first portal for 130 mornings, and sets the first portal in the west of the heavens. And I wanted to show the full rotation of it, going back to it. And on that day, the night becomes longer and amounts to a double of the day. And the night amounts exactly to 12 parts. And the day, and I say 12 parts, and the day to 6. And the sun has therewith traversed the divisions of its orbit, and turns again on those divisions of his orbit, and enters the portal 30 mornings, and sets also in the west opposite to it. Now that's why I'm going to end for us on the 27. And I'm going to let my sister read hers at 27. But what I want you to get out of what we just read is that we are not rotating around the sun. It's that the sun has traversed the divisions of his orbit, and turns again on those divisions of his orbit. So it says he turns back and redoes the same division. So every time we talk about, in this scripture, it says the portals that it's going in and out of. And then my sister says gates. Huh? What you said?
Gates are not moving.
Right, the gates are not moving.
The sun is, though.
Exactly. So if the gates are not moving, and the sun is, and it dips every day into a different gate that's beneath us, then we must be flat too. We must be stable too, right? So, and it says, and enters that portal 30 mornings and sets also in the west opposite to it. So, understanding that what is written in Enoch, and Enoch was here before the flood, right? So, Enoch was, I'm gonna get my chart, hold up, because I'm on something else and I want to make sure I have that.
Enoch was a scribe of the Most High.
Was a scribe of the Most High. Let me give y'all this right quick. You did?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I got this chart to show you guys real quick as soon as I get to it.
A chart?
Yeah, man, a chart. We got to try and show what we got here.
I want to see that. Show you that.
It's coming. As soon as I resurrected, because
And we're like stable like metal.
Yeah, I see I done lost it, right? But that's all right.
Wait, you lost.
Oh, there it is. All right, I didn't lose it. So right here, when you see this chart of the family tree, right? Adam and Eve, Abel, right here, right? Then you have Cain, which obviously Cain and Abel were brothers, and then Seth came later. So Abel was killed by his brother. Scott, I see you in the building. Your car in the building. August in the building. I see in the building Esther, my brother Eugene in the building. Yes. Hey, Monica, all praises. Peace to you too, Monica. Shalom. My brother Aaron in the building. Yeah. My brother Yuan, I'm sure, is in the building. Montreal, Marie's in the building. Yuan. And you know, Kathy's in the building. She was first in the building. So all praises. So as we are going forward, Abel was killed by Cain. So the next child that Adam and Eve had was Seth. And out of the line of Seth, right, he has Enoch right here. Enoch is the son of Jared. Mahalo, right, was his father. Kenan, who was written out of the Bible. And then Enos, who was the first one. Now you'll see over here under Cain, there's an Enoch. And as you'll also see, there are names as Methuselah out of Cain's side, and as Methuselah here on Seth's side. So you're going to see names that in this time go back and forth. So obviously, Noah was when the flood came, and we have us, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? Where all of us have come from. So this is before the flood. So the information that we're talking about that we just read to you guys comes from the book that is of the scribe of the Most High that was here before the flood, and this information was passed down through this line that we are so blessed of Barakas to be a part of. Way down there, we are the seed of Jacob, of Yaakov, right? So it says here, Enoch is a biblical figure prior to Noah's flood and the son of Jared, the father of Methuselah. We always heard of that term before. You old as Methuselah. Well, Methuselah, according to scripture, lived the longest besides Adam, right? So Methuselah was the father, Enoch was the father of Methuselah. He was the antediluvian period in the Hebrew Bible. Antediluvian means before the flood. This Enoch is not to be confused with Cain's son, Enoch. Well, let's just take a look at what they say for him. So Cain's son is a character of the book of Genesis. He is described as the son of Cain, the father of Arad. Sounds a lot like Iraq, huh? Well, after Cain arrived in the land of Nod, to which he was evicted by the Most High as punishment for murdering his brother Abel. His wife became pregnant and bore Cain's first child, whom name was Enoch. Now, when you read in the scriptures, you'll find that Cain named the first town of them after Enoch, and that became Erid, and some say Erid wound up becoming Saudi Arabia. Well, that's a lot of conjecture, and we'll leave that for those guys to worry about that. The point for us to understand is the demon seed. Ding, 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 ding. We're going to get the demon seed so many times this week, sister. We not to come up with some type of sound when we hit demon seed. You know what I'm saying? To keep it moving. Yeah. So the demon seed is Cain. And you'll see that in here, they show a diagram of Nema. Yes. And in some things, some scriptures, some version of scriptures, they'll say Nema, who is of Tubal and Cain, Jabal and Jabal, who are some evil people, some pretty evil people that came from Cain. Now, we've all heard the terminology before that
Nama.
Nama, that the devil was the greatest musician, right? That he was the greatest musician known to in the scripture, right? Well, we understand that Cain is of an evil seed, right? So let's just see what what we got for Jabal right quick, because I thought this was interesting. Y'all may want to know. So Jabal or Yubal, which is how they have many names. Jabal is described as the ancestor of all who played the harp and flute. Jabal is said to have played the kinnor, translated harp in NIV, and the lyre in ESV, and we'll suggest that. And I'm saying translated flute and pipe is very important to understand the word pipe. Pipe in the ESV suggests that the latter may have been a reed or a Pan's pipe. Pan is the pagan god. I want y'all to understand that's some CSI work right there, right? So we just went from understanding Cain's seed from the breakdown and being able to go right now to etymology online, right? Let's go to etymology online, because y'all may think that your boy is just happy for no reason, right? Maybe I didn't show you why I'm so happy, because we are showing you the truth right quick, right? You want to show you the truth, because we understand that Cain is no good, right? We understand that Cain killed his brother. He was kicked out by the Most High, right? So let's look at the word God, right? Let's put a capital G on in there. Let's go to capital G. So we on etymology online for the word God. All right, so God. So it says here, also God, Old English, supreme being, deity, the Christian. Oh, sisters, they say that's the Christian God. Mm. Image of a God, godlike person from Proto-Germanic. So the Germans, the Old Saxon, the Old Frisian, that would be, I guess you're going to call them French, your Dutch gods, your old High German gods. So we got all the poison. We got Saxons, we got French, we got Goths, we got Dutch, we got German. German Goth, German Old Norse, we got the Vikings, which is of uncertain origin, perhaps from Pi. Oh, wait. They just said that Cain's grandchild was named Jabal. Jabal was known as the creator, the first one to ever teach man how to play the flute. That his flute made him known as Pi. And Pi is here being said, or that perhaps the origin of the God for all of these Europeans is perhaps Pi, gut, which is invoked, such as Old Church Slavonic, to call, or Sanskrit, which is the Hindus, invoked an epithet of Indra from root gu, to call, to invoke. The notion could be divine entity summoned to sacrifice. You can't make this up, right? Y'all can't make this up. Y'all here with me. Y'all see this, right? We just went from Jabal. Oh, hold on. Let's get to Jabal. Because y'all may think that I'm just, This it says Jabal, described as ancestor of all who played the harp and flute. Jabal is said to have played the kinnor, translated as harp in the New New International Version, or lyre, or of the ESV, the English Standard Version, and the yagab, translated flute in the NIV, and pipe in the ESV. So they're saying that one version says flute, but the other says pipe. And Gordon Wenham suggests that the latter may have been a reed or a Pan's pipe. Well, we just read the etymology of God, and we know that their original concept came from Pan's pipe, from Pan, their God. And we have Cain, Enoch, Arad, Mahukel, Methuselah, Ada, Lamech, and Lamech. Yes, my sister.
Wasn't Lucifer known as the musician of the heavens?
Yes, he was.
Mic drop.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, he was. Lucifer was known as the greatest musician in the heavens. I'm just saying, if you into this CSI type of thing, you know what I'm saying? You like researching type of thing. It's funny what you will find. What they say is the funny thing that a 5 or a 5th grader will say. No, it's the funny thing that these white folks were right. That's what I say.
I believe it.
Yeah, man. So Jabal, right, is their flute player, right? He is Pan's pipe. Pan's flute is a musical instrument based on the principle of a closed tube consisting of multiple pipes of gradual increasing length. Multiple varieties of pan flutes have been popular as folk instruments. The pipe is typically made from bamboo cane. Now, you understand this image that you're looking at is the type of pipe that you see in all the little old ancient movies, and right? It's not the long pipe that you were thinking of, right? Now it's a little short-handed thing in the mouth that they've had from the beginning.
So it's like a flute where you put your mouth on it.
Exactly. So back to our etymology real quick. But some trace it to pi, goot, poured from root goot, to pour a libation. So when the Father says that you have drinking of the wine of the harlot of Babylon, and we understand that they want you to pray to their term called God, and God for them is pi. Pi in our scripture comes from Jabal, which was the grandson of Cain that killed Abel. So this pi pours libation, as Greek keen, to pour, also in the phrase of Gia. Gia is the new terminology for the earth. Remember, the Pope has now said that they're having a green Sabbath to give praise and to give rest to earth, what they call Gia. So pi, goot, means to pour to the earth, pour earth. Koot Gia. So y'all get this right. Goot is pi, Gia is earth, referring to a burial mound, which we're going to get into next week. Y'all keep this burial mounds in mind when we go into the false gods next week. Into the earth, referring to a burial mound, see found given the Greek. All this is Greek facts. The German form may have referred in the first instance to the spirit immanent in a burial mound. See also Zeus. In either case, it says not related to good. That's the second mic drop. How many concerts do you go to when they got 2 mic drops? I'm talking about an encore. Y'all remember when James Brown would come back after he had finished the show, and Maceo would put the coat over him, and he would hop out. No, I can't stop, Maceo. I can't stop, Maceo. That's where we at tonight. So the first mic drop was understanding that Pi is known as the flute god, and is also known as Zeus, and that this flute god is directly attributed to Jubal, a real life person that lived, not a mythical person, but actually touched the earth. And they named every nation that rocked with this belief. The entire European gambit, German, Saxon, French, you know what I'm saying, Dutch. They named every one of these Japhets as saying this is their understanding of God.
That's them people.
Wow.
Them Christians.
Wow, them Christians.
Them Jewish.
Not them Jewish Christians. Them evangelists. Can't forget about the evangelists. I mean, that's your Jew Christian. That's your Judeo-Christians evangelists. Huh? What did you say, Jordan? Oh, and then the young 7-year-old know that the origin of them all came from the Egyptians. Oh, come on. Can we get a third mic drop in the building? Is it going down like that on this Shabbat? Yes. You know what I'm saying? So we have just connected for you guys, right? You know what I'm saying? We just connected. Oh, to see you in the building, Ashley. Let's see you in the building. Daughters of Zion, yes. Your car, yes, we bringing it out. So we are understanding as you're looking at this screen that they're God. They're the one that they have in the church, the Christians with the false, with the graven image of the cross and the whole hands together, right? That they come from the Goths, the Vikings, the Dutch, all of these Slavic nations, right? That this word goop or this word God means to pour.
White supremacy.
It means to pour, white supremacy, and it pours to the earth. So I'm about to make a real hard twist. We've been making a joke, but I'm about to get real hard twist to you. So I want y'all to come with me, and it says that this Guth is God. God came from Guth, which means to pour. Now we already made the connection to the whore of Babylon and the Father saying that the wine that we have drinking from the wine of Babylon, of the whore, the harlot. So we got that, but let's go another direction when we say that you pouring out gear to the earth. You're pouring out the blood of our people onto the earth as a sacrifice as we go into your churches on Sunday and give praise to your pi demonic entity. And throughout the week, you are sacrificing us, the chosen seed of Jacob. Because that's what they do. Is that not what we have written in their etymology? This is their truth. This is their words of facts. So they pour out our blood throughout the week. Now in Philadelphia, just came out of Lafayette, was in Houston before that, then was in Minnesota then was in Cleveland. You know, it gets around in this Judeo-Christian country. So it says, poured from root, goo, to pour a libation, source of Greek, to pour, also in phrase kugia, poured earth, referring to a burial mound. The indigenous people in North America said that in those burial grounds that the Smithsonian and happy-go-lucky early American archaeologists uncovered in their excavations, that these mounds consisted of giants with red hair. What did you say? Was it, Jordan? Yes, the Nephilim. Yes, we're about to make yet another connection. The Nephilim. So they're gods that pour blood onto the libation, that pours the blood of the saints as a sacrifice, as a libation upon the earth, as did these fallen angels as they ate mankind and drank their blood until mankind killed them. And then the flood and the Father took out the rest of them. Right? I mean, it's just what it is, right? I mean, this is all their information. We just went from Wikipedia to etymology online. We did that coming out of reading Enoch, right? Understanding that the line of Enoch being of Seth, of the chosen line, that Enoch gave birth to Methuselah, who is known as the oldest man, who's revered in all Christianity. He says Methuselah was a biblical patriarch and a figure of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, said to have died at the age of 969. He lived the longest of all figures mentioned in the scripture. According to the book of Genesis, Methuselah was the son of Enoch, the father of Lamech, and the grandfather of Noah. Elsewhere in the Bible, Methuselah is mentioned many places. Yes, he is. So when we understand that as long as we've been here, that the devil has had names just like us, Enoch, Canaan, got Tubal Cain right here. And we get to this Tubal Cain, right? Tubal Cain is a person mentioned in the Bible, as well as the book of Yasharale, known for being the first blacksmith. He is started as the forger of all instruments of bronze and iron, a descendant of Cain. He was son of Lamech, Zela, Tubal, right? So Lamech, we got a Lamech over here, that was the father of Noah, and you got a Lamech here, that was the father of Jubal, that was of the seed of Cain. You see how it can get real confusing? Especially if you don't have a chart in front of you, you're reading this, right? And then they put it in Old English, and they put it in all these crazy English versions, right? To confuse you, right? To confuse you. Well, let's get to what the confusion is of the day, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with a brother named Grandmaster Jay, right? Right. You know that guy? Who's that guy, Jordan?
The guy of NFAC.
That's right. The 7-year-old know. Y'all better get in the know, man. You know what I'm saying? The 7-year-old know about Nephilim. He understand who Impact is. I mean, I hope y'all children are understanding what's happening in this hour. I hope that y'all are having some real adult conversations with your children in this hour. So 8 months ago, this brother, Grandmaster Jay, who you have heard of recently, from Louisville and from the Breonna Taylor and having the first, well, not the first, but the largest armed black militia to this date, and the most public by far ever, right? Black militia, right? Known. So he did that coming out of the Mount Arbery scenario. Or was there one right before that, sister, that he was involved in?
No, that was the first.
That was the first one.
Took up arms and went.
Right. So they took up arms and went to go make citizen arrest on the Macmillans, McMahons, or whatever the heck them racist Ku Klux Klan people were. Right. So this is before that. I just wanted to put that in context that this video was done prior to him going and doing the things that he's done. So it shows that he has had been an inquisitive young man, to say he's older than me, right? He's been an inquisitive young man that has been seeking to find the truth. Now, this is going to link to the next video that we're going to show you, because when we say false prophets, when we first told you that we read Enoch was a luminary, and that, Enoch was a luminary, the sun was the greatest luminary, that luminary is a prophet, because it professes the Most High's law every day, because he rises and sets according to the laws the Father set him on, which was a part of the covenant, so that his children on this earth could heal from crazy diseases. See, if we didn't have the sun, we wouldn't have vitamin D, and we wouldn't be able to fight the Rona. If y'all didn't know, vitamin D is the #1 way to kill Rona. I don't know if they told y'all, right? And an alkaline body along with that, and you have beaten it just like a common cold. But I know, we're not going to get into that tonight. But anyway, his covenant to us is that sun is going to rise every day and give us the healing rays that we need. And that sun is going to rise every day and help, well, not help, but make our plants and our food grow. His covenant that sun is going to rise every day is so that his earth will stay in its circadian rhythm. The sun is responsible for many things. So yes, he is professing the order of the Most High. And right now we have a false prophet against the sun. You know, like, boy, you crazy. What you mean a false prophet against the sun? Well, let's take a look at it. Shit. After 4 weeks of nonstop, I took a high flight altitude. Hold up, I'm gonna rewind that because I want y'all to read what it said. It said, 8 minutes will shock you or confirm you are not crazy. After 4 weeks of nonstop cloudy days, that's watching the skies, I took a high altitude flight. Go to the first cloud layer. Sun and sky above. There's no other cloud layers. The second layer casts its own shadow, meaning sunlight could not reach. Notice how huge the sun looks. Take note of the sun. We decided to go higher. Notice the totality of the first layer of coverage. The shadows from the second layer made ground extremely dark. There is no way to see sun from the ground. There is normal passengers on the jet. So what he's saying is that this bottom cloud not clouds, but bottom layer of clouds that you see is the first layer. There in between, there's a whole nother layer of clouds above that's in front of the sun. But he's stating that because it's such a blanket on the first one, that the sun is being blocked from the earth, right? The cloudy days, the chemtrails, so to speak. So the sun has to fight through its normal clouds, as you see at the top, and then also the additional cloud covering, which is making it hard for us to stay healthy and for our food to grow. Sun is observed by a higher cloud layer, obscured. We start climbing higher. Watch the sun. Completely obscured from ground. They continue to climb the airplane. Sun looks white instead of yellow. We climb toward the sun's second layer of clouds. White instead of yellow. Very good. The object was an object we assume is in the sun peeks through. Two things to understand that he said there. One, the sun is supposed to be yellow. We've always told it was yellow. All right. Secondly, there's something else on the side or next up peeking through with the sun as well. Yeah, Aaron said, all praises to Coach T for bringing this video out on a show yesterday. So they're climbing higher, right? As you can see, you got a yellow little tint back there to a little bit, like it might be a real sun. But if you look right here where you see my cursor, it's a little dot right there. Well, you know, where's the sun and all of the light, right? Look right here at the top of that arrow of my cursor. You're gonna see. Now it's getting bigger. I was getting bigger. Whoa, hold up. That was a little dot right there. That was a little gray dot. Now all of a sudden, whoa! It was a gray little dot. Y'all saw what a cursor was, right? It was a gray little dot. Right. You know, and now it's this giant dash right there. See a little dot, right, John? Yeah. Now it's going to turn to this giant light. Notice the object at 1 o'clock of the sun. Now, you'll see this cannot be seen from the ground, right? Now, when you look, it's kind of odd how the sun is getting distorted. It's like the clouds is now, we can't have a circle, right? I didn't know that the clouds, because I know that when we read Enoch, sister, it said that the sun was the biggest luminary, right?
That's correct.
If you can pull that verse up for us where it said the luminary was big as the heavens, I mean, because I don't know how a cloud, right, distorts the shape of the sun. Okay, well, I'm saying using an airplane, you know, maybe it's a reflection off of the cloud. Oh, there's a lot of waviness going with that thing right there, man. Watch the object to the right of the sun again. Where we go? To the right. Let me see if I can show it. It's right here, but let me get y'all a better one. Let's see. All right. To the right is right here. That's when he's saying the clouds cause the sun to look huge. But that's that same beam. Now you got all of this light. So what he's saying is that whatever light is coming, the clouds make it a larger light than this little small light. Now, before the sun even came through, I showed you that it was a little bitty dot right there. Looked like a little perfect circle. And then it got bigger, the clouds passed, and all of a sudden the sun was large. And then we showed that it was distorted. The shape of the sun was distorted. And now he's saying, take a look at the top right, the extra object that's alongside of the sun. And it says the cloud caused the sun to look huge. All right. Right side. We continue to climb. Watch the sun as you break through. Watch we reach the super high clouds up. Notice how large the sun is. Oh, that's what it is. We finally broke through. We started. You see, this is not a reflection. Notice how this cloud distorts the sun. Are you all under these layers? And we are under these layers. There is an object near the sun. Various filters, they put the same thing, camera reflections, more. So there's just different filters of what you saw. Now, keep that in mind, right? Now, if you're thinking, that, hey, that's a reflection off of the windshield, right? That's a reflection off of the camera back to the windshield, whatever it may be. All right, well, look, we're going to go to this clip right here because there's 2 suns was sighted in China. Yeah, so let's go.
Has Chinese leader Xi Jinping's emperor dream been revealed? China finished its key political meeting of the year, and one of the meeting highlights is sending shockwaves. During the meeting, 2 suns appeared in the sky in a city close to Beijing. The Chinese say...
Okay, so it just said that as they're having their giant meeting, their plan for China for the next couple of years, which one would say a meeting is a ritual, kind of like a Masonic ritual, right? Meeting where you are summoning or doing certain things. Well, at this particular giant summit that all of the major people of China was there, that there were reports of 2 suns in the sky. So we're not talking about somebody with a crazy camera, right, that went up and saw it themselves. We're now talking about a national news service that's being coordinated by the officials in China, that they saw 2 suns in the sky.
It's a sign of something big to come. New evidence emerged that officials are underreporting CCP virus cases in China's largest city, Shanghai. 80% of China's medical care funding goes to CCP upper-level officials, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. And the United States is removing the CCP's entities of influence in the country one by one. Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. China's top leadership concluded one of the key meetings of the year this Thursday. But one of the highlights of the meetings is raising alarms. NTD's Juliet Song reports.
On Thursday, China wrapped up one of the most important political meetings of the year, the 5th plenary session. The meeting would usually highlight party leaders' top goals. And this year, one of them is raising eyebrows. The golden question...
I want y'all to notice how they were clapping in unison together.
And it's a 15-year plan called Vision 2035.
15-year plan.
On the surface, it's Chinese leader Xi Jinping's vision for what the country would achieve in 2035. But for many China watchers, it sounds like a signal of Xi's emperor dream. Ben Hillman, a political scientist at Australian National University, told the BBC that the plan has prompted speculation that Xi intends to lead China through this period, becoming essentially president for life.
President for life, king.
Theoretically speaking, Xi's term as China's leader ends in 2022, and according to party traditions, he would appoint the successor in this meeting. But this year, no successor was named. Also, under communist rule, China still has remnants of a planned economy. So it's typical for party leaders to draft a plan every 5 years, which they did. But a 15-year plan is really rare, even for Communist Party officials. Also, the plan comes at a time when China is facing ever-increasing uncertainties. With a battered economy and the pandemic, a 15-year plan seems highly optimistic. But Xi's plan may have been long in the making. China's law used to limit the leader to 2 terms, but in 2018, Xi removed the limit, which technically allows him to stay in power as long as he wishes. Juliet Song, NTD News.
Couldn't do that.
During the CCP 5th plenary session in Beijing, unusual things happened. In the northern Chinese city Shijiazhuang, people witnessed two suns in the sky Wednesday morning. A video circulating online seemed to show two suns of different sizes in the sky at around 9 a.m. local time. Scientists say it's an atmospheric optical phenomenon. They call it a sundog, referring to a concentrated patch of sunlight occasionally seen about 22 degrees to the left or right of the sun. However, many Chinese people believe that it's a sign of a new...
Wait. Let's just stop right there, right? I just want y'all to... First of all, they said it's a thing that happens, an optical illusion of some sort, right? And then she said that this, when it normally happens, as if this has happened before. When have you ever heard of anybody in history talking about this reoccurrence of a double sun in the sky? Oh, don't worry about it. That's just it happens. The lies.
New era coming, according to Chinese traditional culture. A master of Dao school, Li Chunfeng, lived 1,400 years ago. His prophecy book is proven to be one of the most accurate in history. He once wrote, when two suns appear together, subordinate warlords will conspire a destruction. There will be wars and the one against the law will be eliminated. New information surfaced suggesting that Chinese officials are underreporting virus cases, and local residents are saying officials are downplaying the severity of the spread.
Recently, the Shanghai Municipal Health Commission underreported confirmed CCP virus cases in a public report. About 20 days ago, a person returning to Shanghai from abroad had tested positive for the virus. This was near the end of their 14-day quarantine period when he was at home.
He returned to Shanghai from abroad. He took a nuclei test and stayed home to quarantine. Towards the end of quarantine, he failed the nuclei test and tested positive.
But the Health Commission did not disclose the case in their report. Instead, the report stated that all persons who tested positive returning to Shanghai from abroad about 20 days ago had tested positive within the first 7 days of their quarantine, and no one after the 7th day. In an interview with the local neighborhood committee staff, they told us that the person who tested positive may now have spread the virus because they had contact with other people, and those people will have had contact with other people, and so on. The Shanghai Municipal Health Commission denied that the virus has spread, saying in a public report that everyone the person had contact with tested negative. The interviewee told us that the commission's claims are likely false.
They quarantined a lot of people. Officials say they're all negative. That's false. It's definitely false. Think about it. The person who's tested positive has been in contact with a lot of people, and those people have been in contact with a lot more people.
Hey, I don't know if you heard, but we just had a big development in the unfolding Spygate investigation.
Let me say this to you guys. All right, first, as we just saw, right, and we're gonna watch this whole video, but I'm gonna put it on pause since that video, that commercial came in. Two suns in China, and they got a prophecy that said that when this happened in China, that two subordinate warlords were going to go to battle, and the one that was against the law would be the one that would go down. We just talked about the sun and the law, right? The law of the Most High, the law of him following the chambers according to the covenant. I mean, we could, juxtapose that with a whole bunch of things that's going on right now. But what I want you to understand is that it's a false prophet. Like you are literally in the hour where you are watching someone to try and give you a new son. Someone to, but I'm going to tell you, when you really have these conversations, you can wonder if we already are under a false son. I'll give you a perfect example. What the first video showed us Grandmaster Jay, from the airplane, there were two objects. One could be seen as that other object is forecasting the light or forecasting that light image to some disk or something that then gives the light unto the earth, right? Or you can be as the people are with the planet Narubu, right? I think it's Narubu, which is planet X, right? So because remember in 2017, the first time people started seeing that particular planet, they started telling us about this planet was close to the earth and that we might be able to see it. So they calling these things planets when we know there ain't no such thing as planets. But our scripture says that angels, that fire and brimstone, that in these hours, signs and wonders will be happening. And for us to watch so that we will be prepared. We told you 4 months ago that Farrakhan claimed to be Jesus and said that he was going to be persecuted for the Nation of Islam, and to know that Muhammad, the one that was over him, is God. He believes that Elijah Muhammad is Yasha, and that he's the son of Yasha. It's real twisted, like, man, you know what I'm saying? But he called himself is Jesus, and the other dude is God, and we just looked at the definition of God and who came up with that whole terminology, who came up with the word God. And we know all of that is demonic. As we know that Jerusalem, that is present day, is trampled down by the Gentiles, which are these same synagogues of Satan. There is a giant confederacy. All religions are confederate. As Hebrews, we have to study to show thyself approved, because the very elect in this hour will be deceived if you are resting upon your Paulinian laws or Paulinian thought process, which is of Paul and him being an apostle to the Gentiles, or you will go to the disciples of your people, of Jacob. That would be Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and so forth, and Enoch, and so forth. So we're going to finish watching this. I'm going to step away for a second so you can watch the rest of this video, and we're going to discuss this, and then we're going to get into our Jubilees, chapter 2, to round about showing the false prophecy. But this right here for tonight, because I understand that, even though we are giving these scriptures tonight, that we cannot ignore what is the present day drama and how to have answers for. We can't be like the pastors that are teaching a good news when it's time to be preaching revelation. So, as we are explaining to you the luminaries, and these are the false prophets, understanding that we have to discuss this, the virus that's impending, and the vaccines that are impending, and understanding that is part of the mark of the beast, which is also connecting it to the end time. So this is going to speak a little bit more to that, and I'll be back shortly.
Had greatly stepped up virus prevention and control, and doctors were being fully covered with goggles, masks, and other protective clothing. These are signs that the virus situation has worsened.
In China, Chinese Communist Party officials have many privileges, even when they retire. This is especially seen in healthcare, where 80% of China's medical resources go to the privileged class.
Chinese citizens often run into what's become a severe problem in the country: poverty incurred by illness. Some say once a person enters the intensive care unit in a hospital, decades' worth of savings will disappear in mere months. Many blame the country's poorly developed medical system, but the reason may be something else entirely. Yin-Da-Kui is China's former Vice Minister of Health. Years ago, he exposed that out of the annual cost of medical care in China, 80% goes to CCP officials. That's as 20% is used for the rest of the country's 1.3 billion people. In China, every provincial-level capital city is equipped with wards in their public hospitals. They're specifically designed for regime officials and other privileged people. There are also sanatoriums in various cities, made for high-ranking officials to receive care. The specialized hospital wards are labeled with different names, ranging from integrated ward to VIP ward to special needs ward. All of these designated areas inside hospitals share the same trait: a quiet, fully equipped luxury environment. Medical care at this level is very expensive. For example, staying at an ICU room here can cost over $30,000 daily. But the high price tag isn't only for privileged patients, as they pay with public tax money collected by the regime. Huge quantities of government healthcare funds are wasted this way. What's worse, the money comes out of the already limited government funding. Then Minister of Health Chen Zhu said during the 2012 Davos conference that China's healthcare costs only take up around 5% of GDP. That's lower than that of low-income countries. But the proportion of individuals' healthcare payments reached nearly 60%, a figure much higher than that of developed countries, and many developing countries. Again, no individual payment is required for CCP officials and those from privileged backgrounds. But this is only part of the story. Another section that comes into play is the 981 Chiefs Health Project. It was launched by Beijing's number 301 hospital, otherwise known as the People's Liberation Army General Hospital, in 2005. The project specifically provides medical care for high-ranking CCP officials. The facility is equipped with teams of expert researchers and healthcare staff, as well as cutting-edge labs and equipment. According to an archived screenshot, the project's research focuses on 3 areas: the health promotion module, so clients don't get sick, the youth revitalization module, so clients don't get old, and what's called Project Longevity 150. Its goal is reportedly to extend life expectancy to 150 years. Regime officials have a long history of taking from others to benefit themselves. Former communist leader Mao Zedong's private doctor, Li Zhisui, detailed some of the unusual practices in his book. That includes how Mao's wife arranged for young soldiers to donate blood for her own personal transfusions. That's because she's thought to have believed blood from young, strong men could improve longevity. Stephen Wesley Mosher is the president of nonprofit organization, the Population Research Institute. During an interview with the Epoch Times American Thought Leaders program, he mentioned that some senior party officials received similar blood transfusions back in the 60s. He added that the transfusions later turned into organ transplants. The regime is also known for its forced organ harvesting practices, particularly from prisoners of conscience. Outside of medical care, CCP officials also enjoy other privileges, like luxury retirement benefits. The retirement system for Chinese officials is hierarchical. Officials at the county level and below will only receive a certain percentage of their salary after retirement. Same for their publicly funded medical care coverage. For officials at local, municipal, or city levels, they'll get 100% of their salaries and healthcare benefits, while those at the provincial level and above will be granted even more privileges and luxury. It's not uncommon for CCP top officials to enjoy enormous wealth. According to a Hong Kong political magazine, retired senior officials spent more than $10 billion annually in 2014. That's an average of over $4 million per person among the top 12 CCP leader positions. Reporting by Xu Wenhui.
The Trump administration is designating a Chinese state-controlled organization in the U.S. as a foreign mission. It's also withdrawing from an agreement to promote local-level cooperation between the countries. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced the moves on Wednesday. The Chinese organization is the National Association of China's Peaceful Unification, or NACPU. It's based in Washington, D.C., and is part of China's so-called United Fronts networks. NACPU often holds networking events for Chinese American immigrants and U.S. politicians. The CCP regards such organizations as a magic weapon to advance Beijing's policies. The administration also discontinued a 2011 agreement with China to build a U.S.-China Governors Forum. The U.S. said Beijing has since exploited the agreement to, quote, directly and malign.
Hi, I'm Kate Courtley, former Navy.
Don't worry about that, guys. One second.
Leaders to promote China's global agenda. The Department of Justice is charging 8 people with conspiring to act as illegal agents in the U.S. The agency this morning announcing details of the charges relating to the Chinese Communist Party's violation of the U.S. law and international norm.
All right, this is where we are, okay? So this 8 people have been charged. What you're going to see is going to go real fast here, so I want to explain it before you see it. That organization about peace that they were just speaking about were putting themselves throughout the cities of America, and it was an agreed upon thing that China would do this, thinking that they were trying to build an international peace coalition by them working with their people here. But in fact, what they were doing was going after anyone that had fled from China, especially the ones that had any money, that fled from China to America. They were using those people and the weight and protection of the United States government to go into these people's homes and threaten them to kill them. Say, if you don't come back and do your jail time, we'll kill your family that's still in China. If not, they gave them several horrible alternatives, right? But in that, let's take it one step further. As all of California is burning, and we understand that much of California was purchased by China. We understand that when you burn the forest, you replenish the land and all that good stuff. You see a full infiltration of the Chinese through diplomatic aspect. We already know that social media is split between Israelis, Russians, and the Chinese, right? As the ones that are infiltrated our social media, right? So you have them changing the minds of the people. They're physically coming in and threatening other Chinese. They are starting to bring everybody that is theirs home. America, through the coronavirus, did that, and the rest of the world has done that as far as telling everyone to come back to their home, back to their tongue, back to their native. We're the only ones that are not supposed to know who we are. We're the ones that's supposed to be confused right now and have nowhere to go and choose to be with them because we don't have any history but being adios, African descendants of slavery. No, we are way more than that. We are the seed of Jacob. We are a royalty. We are the inheritance of the Most High. And according to him, wherever we put our sandal is ours. So the Father has told us in Jeremiah 30, in the beginning of our woes, that where we have our sandal, our dwelling place, will be covered in this hour. What we are saying and showing on this Shabbat as we are all communing with the Father in the Melchizedek order, that these are the signs that he has professed that we have been reading about. Know that the time is nigh, and getting our house, our spirit, our mind in order so that we can be vessels unto the Most High, representations of the Most High, reflections of the Most High, is where we are.
NTD's Christina Kim has more.
5 of the 8 were arrested on Wednesday. These individuals allegedly took part in an illegal CCP law enforcement operation called Fox Hunt. Operation Fox Hunt began in 2014 under the orders of Xi Jinping. China describes Fox Hunt as an international anti-corruption campaign, but it also targets dissidents of the CCP and tries to coerce or threaten targets into returning to China. These criminal charges are the first of their kind. 5 people were arrested in New Jersey, New York, and California. 3 are still at large. FBI Director Christopher Wray says Fox Hunt is a part of CCP's diverse campaign of theft and malign influence, and that these actions are not isolated incidences.
Charges that will help China understand that surveilling, stalking, harassing, and blackmailing our citizens and lawful permanent
harassing, stalking, and blackmailing all the way from China, all the way to the Far East. They here doing that. And been doing it. This is the first time they came up with a charge for it. China is creating crimes that America ain't even got a chance to get a law for. And that's what they pride themselves on. America prides themselves on creating the problem and having the law. Shalom, shalom, all praise everybody on Instagram. So they are used to that. And they're like, hold up, these Chinese things, they got so much going on with the technology. They didn't pull a flim flam on us because all this is going to connect to the social credit scoring. All of this is going to connect to the 5G facial recognition. Remember, China got the 2 suns. We just showed that. We showed the brother Grandmaster Jay in the sky in Americas seeing the 2 suns. So that's far east of here, 2 suns we didn't see. And we got the book of Enoch that tells us there's only one great luminary. There's only one great luminary that holds my covenant, that makes sure that this earth rotates in its pattern, make sure that everything grows.
Residents carry serious risks.
Ray noted that these actions violated international laws and norms. According to the DOJ, one scheme involved New Jersey resident John Doe 1. For 3 years, members of the CCP allegedly ordered people in the U.S. to engage in unsanctioned and illegal behavior, all in attempts to coerce John Doe 1 to return to China. They left menacing notes on the victim's door, imprisoned his sister in China, threatened to harm his other family in China, and harassed his daughter online. According to acting U.S. Attorney Seth Ducharme, one note left for John Doe 1 read, "If you are willing to go back to mainland and spend 10 years in prison, your wife and daughter will be safe and all right. That's the end of this matter." When the Chinese regime couldn't locate one of their
Whoa, okay. I see you in the building, Quinfo. So when you, not only did China have a coalition in California, New Jersey, and New York, of these people that are going into the communities and getting other people to rat on or to find or to help to intimidate Chinese people that flew from China, that fled from China, most of them having big money, big money, to get the money back from them and to get them to come back and serve time by threatening them with the killing of their loved ones still left in China. So they told a person, they gave the person a note of come back and serve time or just kill yourself. They told him, go ahead and kill yourself. So, yeah, right, Harry Carey, like, you know how we get down back home, man. They got a butter knife. They got a, look, we'll go get you a nice jujitsu knife, you know what I'm saying? While you get there, we'll even give you the opportunity to order it, let it come get shipped in, and then you kill yourself. But they used an ambassador of China that rode in an American protected car with CIA protection to go to a person's house in America, tap on their door, and say, yeah, look at here. Let me tell you like this. You're going to roll that money back? You might as well just kill yourself right now. We're going to kill everybody in your... And you look at you as the person sitting there like, yo, is that not the American? Is that not the my country standing behind this dude saying, dude, that's going to happen a lot, especially when we get into this contact tracing, this facial recognition, when we are, as you said, there are online bullying. So when you are getting online and showing yourself, pictures of yourself from birth to kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, college, married, older now, and you're doing all these challenges, you're just giving them a complete composite of your profile and of your human. And because of all the words that you put online, they know your personality. Right now, my brother Aaron let me know today that Facebook is blocking me from, from my messages going through there. The Instagram plays with me. Some nights they let me do my full show with you guys on the channel. Some nights they cut it off at an hour. No ruling, no consistency. YouTube is telling me that we are, getting flagged and need to watch what we're saying. So in a minute, you won't have an opportunity to hear raw truth and the real. You're going to have to get into this book. I pray that y'all do. You're going to have to get into this book and read for yourself while you still can. While you still can. Because once the facial recognition kicks in, once this asteroid comes in a couple of days, along with this civil unrest, along with this coronavirus, along with the Department of Justice that has gotten all the vaccines with the chip in it, along with, and let me just go to that right quick. That's right. Along with this right here, body cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency, close this, which is done by Microsoft and Bill Gates, who has the patent, Microsoft Technologies licensing. What is it? Communication network, cryptocurrency system. Exactly what is being done in China right now. There is no money transacted. They got rid of their dollar bill after the first wave of Corona and said that the bills transferred the disease, even though it's airborne, right? So anyway, we are in this hour ringing the alarm to you guys, letting you know that this is the time is nigh. And let's finish this video out so we get to
Fox hunts targets in the U.S. They allegedly sent a representative from China to deliver a threatening message.
Chinese government sent an emissary to visit the victim's family here in the United States. And the message they said to pass on, the target had two options: return to China promptly or commit suicide.
Ray affirmed that the department's concern is not with the Chinese people or Chinese Americans, but with criminal acts committed on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. He said these charges tell China to stay out and that their behavior is not welcome here. The arrested individuals now face the prospect of prison and will be tried in court. Christina Kim, NTD News.
The Department of Justice indicted a group, including a Chinese energy company, for stealing American trade secrets. NTD's Christina Kim has the details.
A group of individuals and companies in the energy, oil, and gas industry are being charged with conspiracy and theft of trade secrets. A Chinese company called Jason Energy Technologies, or JET, and an American oil and gas affiliate called Jason Oil and Gas Equipment, or JOG, have been charged. Lei Gao is charged with conspiracy, theft of trade secrets, and attempted theft of trade secrets. Robert Erford Jr., who worked for a Houston area company, is also charged. According to a statement from the Department of Justice, Gao allegedly met with Erford at the Jason Oil and Gas offices in Houston, where Erford signed a consultancy agreement. At that meeting, Erford was given a letter from the JET general manager. The manager allegedly invited Erford to visit the Chinese company to have a technical exchange and discussion. On or about November 22, 2019, Erford allegedly transferred a victim company document that had a trade secret from the United States to China for JET's benefit. Around November 25th to 29th, 2019, Erford held meetings with Gao and JET officials where they allegedly discussed coil tubing technology, including victim company proprietary technology, practices, and procedures. The corporate entities could face up to a $5 million fine or 3 times the value of the stolen trade secret, whichever amount is greater. Gao faces a possible prison sentence of up to 10 years and a $250,000 fine, or twice the gross gain or loss. Christina Kim, NTD News.
U.S. Customs officials seized millions of dollars of fake goods from China in Los Angeles. Customs and Border Protection officials said in a statement the counterfeit goods were worth over $3.5 million. The Los Angeles Police Department is now investigating the seized merchandise. Customs agents seized over 31,000 fake goods last month at the Los Angeles Long Beach port. Among the items were 25,000 counterfeit Viagra pills and over 5,000 items of footwear and apparel with the logos of Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Versace, and Nike, among others. All the goods came in a cargo shipment from China. The director of Los Angeles CBP Field Operations said in a statement, counterfeit goods damage the American economy, adding the goods can threaten the health and safety of consumers. He recommends consumers only buy from legitimate sources to protect themselves.
All right, so that last part was to let you guys understand that as all of this is happening, as China is making every inroads, as as the 5G, as the coronavirus, all these things are happening, these people are still shipping in goods to us. You think that those goods, such as Viagra pills, but that's the least of what they have, the clothing, you don't think those things are going to start having some type of diseases on it? You don't think it's going to have some type of problems? I mean, the Indians, they did the smallpox with the blankets to them. We know that China sent all kind of horrible foods to Africa that they had to send back. We know they sent rice here that was sent back. So when you think that you're not at war, you are in war right now. You are by your oppressors, rather. Your oppressors are at war. While they are trying to lock you down, the Father is breaking down all of this. We that are not reading are sitting here saying, oh, the world is falling apart. But in actuality, the world is being renewed. This is our opportunity. This Shabbat, man, we're supposed to be rejoicing, sitting back and laughing at the calamities of these people and keeping our head on a swivel to understand that the time is now. The time is nigh. That you have to be prepared with food in your refrigerator. You got to, and I'm wrong. I should have been had my bug out bag. So as I'm telling y'all about a bug out bag, I got to get mine done this weekend. What's a bug out bag? You need a bag that if you got to leave your home, that you have your essentials in it. That you can just grab it at the door, wherever your escape hatch is, that this is that hour to do so. Where you want to, whatever escape routes you can find out of your neighborhood, having a plan of where you got to go if you got to run, knowing that somebody's going to be there to receive you, or if you got a place that you can be of seclusion. But these are thoughts that should be running through your mind right now. These are things you should be preparing for, as this is all coming to a head. We're going to get into our, let me show you right now. We're going to get into the Jubilees, chapter 2. Understand that we have the seat of Satan is right here in Berlin. Period. This was here in Pergamos, which is where this Catholic Church was started in, now in Rome. It's the seat of Satan. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. Get you guys to this script right quick. Yes, you do. Look on your side tabs. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be before Genesis. Oh no, actually, it's going to be right after Deuteronomy. After Deuteronomy. So we are here at Jubilees chapter 2. I pray that this version is going to connect with my sister, because it's most important that we understand. As we started off the show with Enoch and understanding that the luminary is the sun, and that's the Father's covenant with us. And then we went through to show that there's false witnesses right now saying there's two suns in the sky. Many understand that they have done many things with our skies, and we're not sure what is really up there, right? That it can all be the Truman Show, you know? We've shown our present in clear danger on here on Shabbat, right? Using the luminaries, using these things that are of Scripture. But now we're going to get into Jubilees to and we're going to end our night out on Psalms 137. But this Jubilees is going to speak of the sun and its rotations and how the Father sees it from a less technical and from a more story standpoint, for us to have a understanding how important this time is of Shabbat, being ordained by the Father, and what the sun is actually supposed to do, as opposed to what you may see in the sky coming very, very soon. All right, sister, we're ready when you are.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 2. And the angel of the presence spoke to Moshe according to the word of Yahuwah, saying, write the complete history of the creation. How in 6 days Yahuwah Elohim finished all of his works in all that he created, and kept Shabbat on the seventh day.
He did what?
Kept Shabbat on the seventh day, and sanctified it for all ages, and appointed it as a sign for all his works. For on the first day he created the heavens, which are above the earth, and the waters, and all the ruach which serve before him, the angels of the presence, the angels of sanctification, and the angels of the ruach of fire, and the angels of the ruach of the winds, and the angels of the ruach of the clouds, and of darkness, and of the snow, and of hail, and of hoarfrost, and of angels of the voices, and the thunder, and of the lightning, and the angels of the ruach of the cold and the heat, and the winter and the spring, and of the autumn and the summer, and all the ruach of his creations which are in the heavens on the earth. He created the abyss, and the darkness, evening and night, and in the light dawn and day, which he was prepared.
Whoa, right there, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So as we see right here that the Most High is telling Moses to speak on how everything was created. And in 2, it states that an angel was created for everything that we know on this earth. When we all heard it as a child, and it said, he created the stars, the moons, the water, the fish. But it says here that an angel of fire, angel of winds, the angel of sanctification, the angel of hail, the angel of snow, the angel of darkness. So each angel runs the natural occurrence of our world. There's an angel that's responsible for the wind. There's an angel that's responsible for the hurricanes. There's an angel that's responsible for all these things. What our world and let's just say how the world got twisted is that it began to give praise to the angels. And the angels also, they stopped and left their place of abode in the heavens and came down and made it with the daughters of man. So it went both ways, right? It went both ways. But the point that we need to understand is that we are not to give praise to these fallen angels or to the workers of the Father's covenant. It says that he created and kept the Shabbat on the seventh day and hallowed it. Hallowed it means that this is the covenant. Go on to 3, sister.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verse 3. He created the abysses and the darkness, evening and night, and the light, dawn and day, which he has prepared in the knowledge of his heart. And thereupon we saw his works and praised him, and loathed before him on account of all his works. For the 7 great works did he create on the first day. And the second day he created the firmament in the midst of the waters, and the waters were divided. On that day half of them went up above, and half of them went down below the firmament that was in the midst over the face of the whole earth. And this was only the work of Elohim created on the second day.
Did that sound like a globe to you? Didn't sound like a globe to me. It said it was split in half. So the second day he created the firmament in the midst of the waters, and the waters were divided.
It sounds like it to me.
On that day, right? And half of them went up above the waters, and half of them went below the firmament. That was the mist over the face. Ooh, the face of the earth. And this was only the work of the Most High. So the firmament, waters up here, waters down here on the face of the earth. No globe. Doesn't sound like a globe to me. I don't see no circle nowhere in that. Continue to read.
Verse 5. And on the third day, he commanded the waters to pass from off the face of the whole earth into one place, and the dry land to appear. And the waters did so as he commanded them, and they retired from off the face of the earth into one place, outside of this firmament. And the dry land appeared. And on that day he created for them all the seas according to their separate gathering places. And all the rivers and the gatherings of the waters and the mountains and all the earth and all the lakes and all the dew of the earth and the seed which is sown, all the sprouting images, all the sprouting things, and fruit-bearing trees, and trees of the wood, and the garden of Eden.
Yay.
In Eden. The garden of Eden, in all.
That's right.
These four great works Elohim created on the third day. And the fourth day he created the sun, and the moon, and the stars, and set them in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon all the earth, and to rule over the day and the night.
Whoa. I'm sorry, finish the sentence, I'm sorry.
And divide the light from the darkness.
So now we finally have the sun made his appearance. Now we know that the Father said the heavens was the water, the firmament. He split that in half. The earth in the face was at the bottom half of it. The waters went down there. It was over the face of the earth. Then it receded. So the firmament, that the heavens, that the water, that the Father was in, I want y'all to get a visual. He split his own waters in half. The world, the earth, the firmament, the heavens is this giant water. So I said waters of life. He split that, got your earth, and the bottom of the waters went over the face of the earth. So that means that the Father is above and below the earth. So when we say above and as above, so below, we mean that we are surrounded by the Father and his creation. So then it tells us that, okay, on the fourth day, that he created the sun and the moon and the stars and set them in the firmament. So we're in, because remember he split. So the sun and the moon is not in space, sister. It's in the firmament. It's inside of the bubble sphere, should I say? Dare I say? It sounds good to you, Jordan? The bubble sphere? Sister, could you explain what a bubble sphere is to our audience?
A sphere is right, but it is flat.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
A snow cone that is flat at the bottom. So that means that a sphere is just a circle. A globe and a sphere, not the same thing. A sphere is a circle. That can be sideways circle, flat circle, right?
Like a circle, like a regular circle, like we have in the classroom.
Yes, like a circle that we have in the classroom. Exactly, right? So a circle, so a bubble sphere means that you have a flat surface that is a circle, like the logo of the UN. Coinkydink. And then over that, like a snow globe, which we would say is the waters of the firmament, the skyline, the so-called space that they call space. So, and the sun, the stars and the moon is inside that middle space. Whoa. So he says, set them in the firmament of the heaven, and give light upon all the earth, and to rule. Oh, that's the word I was looking for. So the sun and the moon and the stars are to rule over the day and the night and divide the light from the darkness. Oh, wow. So, as we said before, the law that the sun goes by, we read in Enoch 72, it is the law. So it is the law that it will wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, the sun should be rising, right, guys? That's not made by any man, that's the law. So this is all the Most High's creations. And if someone is creating their own sun, then they would be going against the Father's creation. They would be a false prophet in this hour, and they have taken it to the Father's creation on the 4th day. Continue to read.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verse 9. And Elohim appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for days.
Wait. It said the Most High put the sun on there for everybody to worship? Is that what I saw?
To be a great sign on the earth for days.
So, go ahead.
And for Shabbat, and for months, and for feasts, and for years, and for Shabbat of years, and for Jubilees, in all seasons of the years.
So it was not made for us to worship. The sun, regardless of how great the Aztec civilization was, no matter how great the Egyptian dynasty was, pharaohs were, no matter how great the Greek dynasties were, and no matter how great this Roman dynasty wants to tell you that it is, we are not to worship the sun. Continue to read.
And it divides the light from the darkness, and for prosperity, that all things may prosper, which shoot and grow on the earth.
All things to prosper that shoot and grow on the earth. We shoot and grow on the earth. Jordan, haven't you gotten taller?
Yeah.
Aren't you getting bigger?
Yeah.
So if the children, the plants, the everything grows from the earth, then the sun is the providing for it. So I can see how these ancient civilizations got lost in the sauce. They say, man, the sun is what's getting us to grow. It's what's healing us. It's all this, man. We should give praise to it. Very short-sighted. Continue to read.
Verse 11. And on the 5th day he created great sea monsters in the depth of the waters. For these were the first things of flesh that were created by his hands. The fish and everything that moves in the waters, and everything that flies, the birds and all their kind. And the sun rose above them to prosper them, and above everything that was on the earth, everything that shoots out of the earth, and all fruit-bearing trees, and all flesh. These 3 kinds he created on the 5th day. And on the 6th day he created all the animals of the earth, and all the cattle, and everything that moves on the earth.
It wasn't a cow, it was a buffalo. And there was no cows in this thing. Go on.
And after all this, he created man. And a man and a woman created he them, and gave him dominion over all that is upon the earth, and in the seas, and over everything that flies, and over the beasts, and over cattle, and over everything that moves on the earth, and over the whole earth, and over all this he gave him dominion.
Whoa! So anything that moved over the earth, he gave to us. He created all the animals of the earth and all the cattle and everything that moves on the earth. And after all this, he created us. Man and woman created them, and gave him dominion over all that is upon the earth. That will still be again man and woman. and in the seas, and over everything that flies over the beast. We have dominion over it when we are following his commandments. Continue.
And these 4 kinds he created on the 6th day. Verse 16. And there were altogether 22 kinds. And he finished all his work on the 6th day, and all that is in the heavens of the earth, and the seas and the abysses, and the light and in the darkness, and in everything. And he gave us a great sign, the Shabbat.
Yes.
That we should work 6 days, but guard the Shabbat of the 7th day from all work.
Yes.
And all the angels of the presence and all the angels of sanctification, these 2 great classes has he bidden us to guard the Shabbat.
Whoa, he told us to do what?
Guard the Shabbat with
guard
him in heaven and on earth.
Guard the Shabbat. To guard it. That doesn't sound like willy-nilly. Guard means that you have to make an effort to make Shabbat happen every week. Show him that you love him, that you are listening to him. Keep it. Thank you, Jordan. To keep it holy. Exactly. Continue to read.
Verse 20. And he said unto us, Behold, I will separate unto myself a people from among all the people, and these shall guard the Shabbat. And I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and will bless them. As I have sanctified the Shabbat, and do sanctify it unto myself.
Unto whom?
Into myself. Even so will I bless them. And they shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim.
Oh.
And I have chosen the seed of Jacob from amongst all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son.
Ooh.
And have sanctified him unto myself forever and ever. And I will teach them the Shabbat, that they may guard the Shabbat thereon from all work.
Okay, so when it says here in 20, I have chosen the seed of Jacob from among all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son. I know a lot of people, Yasha, they like the Catholic Church to say it's only begotten son. Right here it says that we, this seed is Jacob, all of us, which also Yasha came out of that seed of Jacob, did he not? Yes, he did. So when we are sitting here understanding the dominion that we have over this earth, that when we see these false prophets, when we see these lies in the sky, these Project Blue Beams, these CERN people, we have to sit back and laugh. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get confused. Don't be confounded. Know that you have an everlasting covenant with the Shabbat. And guess what? If the sun didn't rise and set, we wouldn't know when the Shabbat was, because the Father said, what, sister, that the sun was for the Shabbats and the what? The Jubilees?
And the months and the years.
Yes! Yes! So that's when I say to you that the Shabbat, the sun rather, is the law. It is the Most High's law and his covenant with us. It is the prophet that says that, yes, there is a Shabbat. It is the prophet that said, yes, there are Jubilees. Yes, this earth will grow. Everything will shoot up and grow by my rotations. Continue to read this.
Verse 22. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which, I lost my space. Okay, verse 22. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should guard the Shabbat with us on the 7th day, to eat and to drink and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified unto himself a peculiar people above all peoples.
A peculiar people, go on.
Above all peoples, and that they should guard Shabbat together with us. And he caused his commands to ascend as a sweet savor acceptable before him all the days.
All the days.
There were 22 heads of mankind from Adam to Jacob, and 22 kinds of work Wait, let me read that again, family. I think y'all missed that one. I'm reading again, 24. You didn't say nothing.
I saw that 20, but I saw it when you said, I was like,
24. There were 2 and 20 heads.
Heads, I'm sorry, yeah.
24. There were 2 and 20 heads of mankind from Adam to Jacob.
All right, we're going to stop it right there. So we talk about there were more people, just Adam and Eve, right? When people always say, well, just Adam, we showed you the chart with Adam and Eve and Cain, but there was way more people than just them. Here it says 22 heads of mankind that came from Adam himself. When the Most High first took Adam and Eve out of the garden, the Most High said, well, Adam said unto the Most High, they were scared to go out of the garden because they thought they were going to be killed by the other people. What other people? So there was other people, not just then, but also with Cain. When Cain got kicked out, he was afraid to be killed by the other people. And the Most High put a mark on him and said, nobody can touch Cain, or they'll have to deal with him. So there was 22 mankind that came out of Adam, not to mention the ones that was already made by the Most High. Oh, we continue on that 23, and it said 20. Mm-hmm.
And 2 and 20 kinds of work were made until the 7th day. This is blessed and holy, and the former also is blessed and holy. And this one serves with that one for sanctification and blessing. Verse 25. And to this Jacob and his seed it was granted that they should always be the blessed in the Kodashim.
Always be the what?
The blessed in the Kodashim of the first testimony and Torah, even as he had sanctified and blessed the Sabbath on the 7th day.
Yes.
He created heaven and earth and everything that he created in 6 days, and the Most High made the 7th day holy for all his works. Therefore, he commanded on his behalf that whosoever does any work thereon shall die, and that who defiles it shall surely die.
Whoa. So we got real just now. Everything was all fruits and berries and love, and we the kings of everything. The Father says there's a penalty because there's a responsibility for being a chosen seed, that you have to be a representation. You cannot not hold down the Shabbat when they got 22 other heads out there, different type of people. They got others of them that's out there. Y'all have to represent as my inheritance on this earth. And I can't have you slacking. I can't have you half-stepping. I damn sure can't have you backsliding. So I'm going to need you to stand up and guard my Sabbath. Continue.
Verse 27. Wherefore do you command the children of Israel to observe this day, that they may keep it holy, and do not do thereon any work, and not to defile it, as it is holier than all other days.
It is what?
Holier than all other days. And whosoever profanes it shall surely die, and whosoever does thereon any work shall surely die eternally, that the children of Israel may observe this day throughout their generations, and not be rooted out of the land. For it is a holy day and a blessed day.
Wait. It says that we should keep this day holy so that we are not taken out of our land, sister?
That's right, God.
So us not following the Sabbath, and the Yasha saying that the synagogue of Satan, who are not Jews, are the ones that are in Jerusalem right now. So this would be truth. This would be facts. That we have not followed the Sabbath, so we are not in our homeland. That it is downtrodden by the Gentiles, which coincides with our end times. Continue, sister.
Verse 29. And everyone who observes it and guards Shabbat thereon from all his work will be holy and blessed throughout all days like unto us. Declare and say to the children of Israel the Torah of this day, both that they should guard the Shabbat thereon, and that they should not forsake it in the error of their hearts, and that it is against the Torah to do any work thereon which is unseemly, to do thereon their own pleasure, and that they should not prepare thereon anything to be eaten or drunk, and that it is against the Torah to draw water, or to bring in or take out thereon through their gates any burden which they had not prepared for themselves on the 6th day in their dwelling. And they shall not bring in or nor take out from house to house on that day. For that day is more holy and blessed than any Jubilee day of the Jubilees. On this we kept Shabbat in the heavens before it was made known to any flesh to guard Shabbat there on the earth.
Okay, y'all understanding that this Sabbath thing that we are talking about protecting, the Most High said they were doing that in the heavens before man even knew about it. Whoa. Continue to read.
Verse 32. And the Creator of all things blessed it. But he did not sanctify all peoples and nations to guard the Shabbat thereon, but Yisrael alone. Them alone he permitted to eat and drink and to guard the Shabbat thereon on the earth. And the Creator of all things blessed this day, which he had created for blessings, and holiness and glory above all days. This Torah and testimony was given to the children of Israel, a Torah forever unto their generations.
So this was given as testimony to the children of Yasharale as a law forever unto generations. This is that the Shabbat, to know any flesh, to keep the Shabbat therein on the earth, and the Creator of all things blessed it, but did not sanctify all peoples and nations to keep therein, but only Yasharale. That's why we are special. That's why we know what we are, who we are. That's why others are confused by who we are. That's why others can't understand or grasp how we can continue to give him praise and glory when our conditions seem like we should be doing the opposite. Why are we not running to others to have them sanctify us when we know that we are sanctified through our 10 Commandments, that we are sanctified through the fire of the Most High? That is the trials and tribulations, that we don't need anyone to throw water upon us, that we understand that the Shabbat that we have every week that provides safety and has water and has food for us, that every week that we have that Shabbat, that he is a covenant to us, that's our water being thrown on us. I see you, son, in the building. Love you, son. So we understand that the Shabbat is our covenant, that they were doing this in the heavens before we even knew about it on the earth. And they said, keep it holy, to guard it, because the devil's going to try and knock you off of this Shabbat. The devil's going to tell you there's 2 sons up there. The devil's going to tell you that the Pope is Jesus. And then the Pope going to tell you that the UN. No, that's what Jesus is. Jesus, you need to go to him. He's got the best answers. Everybody's passing the buck because they're all confederate, believing in their God, which we just showed you came from the seed of Cain. Thank you, son. Came from the seed of Cain. Let's go back to that. The seed of Cain gave you Jubal. Jubal was the one that gave you God, Pan. He was the one that created music. Lucifer was the greatest musician in the heavens. We have to stick to our guns of knowing who we are. We have to pulled the thug out of us. The thug, the one that the I will not die, the thing inside you that say I will not be smacked up against the wall, the thing that says I won't bow down, the no bow in you, that has to read. That no bow has to say, I'm not going to bow down and not read and get to know who my Father is. I'm not going to not bow down and find out who my power is by reading the book. I'm not going to listen to secondhand information from loud mouths like myself that you're going to go and get it yourself. That you're not going to let the dude on the corner tell you which way your power is. You're not going to let somebody on Facebook tell you what your power is. You're not going to let the government tell you what your power is. Hebrew state of being is all about helping people find out what their own power is. We ain't the battery cables to you. We ain't the hype boys. We ain't the ones to convert you. We are the ones to give you the information. The Most High is going to do that. If you have the ear to hear, if you have the eye to see, if your name has been written in the book, because know that the Most High says that everyone that's going to hear him in this end time, name is written in the book. Is your name written in the book, Hiram? Hiram, is your name written in the book? My name is written in the book because I earned it in that book. What about you, Aaron? Have you earned your name in the book? Yawan, Esther, have you earned your name in the book of life? Before I'm worried about how this world is going to end, before I'm worried about what bills I have, my concern is if I'm written in that book of life. Am I doing the type of things that I could feel like I can defend myself on my judgment day, wherever that judgment be, here on earth with men, up in the heavens with the Father, that at any moment, at any time, I am willing to defend my righteousness because I have been putting forth righteousness. I'm willing to defend the words that I speak because I have gotten to a point that I know that my opinion doesn't count for crap. So even if I say the wrong thing, I got no problem being humble and saying I got that wrong. Because the only time that you're upset about saying you're wrong is because your ego is inflated, because you got leaven in your heart, because you think that you should be revered in a certain manner, or you think that your stuff should never stink. Or this is just a real inopportune time for my stuff to stink. No, actually, it's a perfect time for everybody to see your character. That's what it is. The Most High is giving you an opportunity to show your character, to show your humbleness. If we can all get this humble thing as a way of life, if we can all get this humble way of mindset of being a servant to our brothers and our sisters, knowing that the Most High is going to pay us back, not looking for other brothers and sisters to serve us, but be servants unto them that are doing righteous things. You can serve people that are not about righteousness, and you will get near blessing from such. You will get near blessing because you help the dude that shot somebody get across the street because he was about to get hit by a car. Maybe the Most High was about to kill that fool for what he did over there. That you get no joy for that. You get nothing for that. All right. It's about you doing the work and supporting the people that are about righteousness until you can be that voice of righteousness, till you can be that example, until the Father starts giving you the jobs to say, yo, you know what, my son, you show yourself to be approved. I need you to go and help this person. I need you to be a shoulder for this person. I need you to go through some problems, but I need you to stay as a reflection of me so that everybody around you that see you going through it will know how to handle it. You you good. I ain't got no problem with you. You are a good and fellow servant, but I need you to go through some problems right now so that you can show everybody else how to handle problems. Because you know you got the victory because you're walking with me, because you are yoked with me. And then, as you know, being yoked with the Most High, if he does need to use us as an example, if we do have to go through some things, when we complete that mission of being a reflection of him and that drama has passed, we are always leveled up. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Well, I'm going to let y'all out of here tonight. We got one more song. We got one more track to go to, and that is Psalms 137, excuse me. Psalms 137. Oh, they telling me Psalms 137. It's not in there? They gotta be kidding. There's 157 songs. I know doggone well they got 137. But they want to play tonight. That's all right. I'm glad y'all in the building and taking y'all time, y'all precious time to assemble with us with the Most High, Thank y'all. Truly appreciate it, man. Because know that we are all in a holy congregation right now. It's not just us that's sharing in this. The Father's looking down upon us. And we are praying for everybody in New Orleans to get their power, to get their life back to some normality. Make sure their food doesn't, as the mayor kept saying, or the guy that was with the mayor today kept talking about food spoiling. They want to get money for everybody, food spoiling. We got many, many things that are being spoiled in this hour, and only the Most High can preserve it. And that's you and your soul. So let's go. Verse 137 of Psalms. By the rivers of Babylon, which is America and Europe, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willow in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. Haven't y'all heard that before when they say in those old slavery movies where the slave master said, boy, sing me a song, boy. Give me one of them good old nigga spirituals. This is speaking of us. How shall we sing the Most High song in a strange land? Wow. What other people have gone through the things of slavery like we, that a song like this would fit that community? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem over my chief joy, saying, discipline yourself, to want Zion, want the discipline of the Father, wanting the law to rule your life. That's what it's about. It says, if I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth, if I prefer Jerusalem and not your chief joy. Remember, O Most High, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundations thereof. They're talking about burning down the city of Jerusalem, Edom, which were our brothers. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be, yes, that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. It said, happy shall ye be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. The Most High is telling us that you are going to be joyous when you get to serve the people that served you. Verse 9, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth the little ones against the stones. Ooh, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth the little ones against the stone. That's such a strong scripture to end the night with on this Shabbat. But understand that how much the devil has been lying to you, how much the devil has caused the deaths and famine and poverty in your family, in your life. Understanding how much these heathens have done to disrupt the love of our communities and of our brothers. Understanding that how they are changing the times to making it 365 days instead of 364 days. Creating a new sun to try and claim themselves to be the Most High on this earth. For things such as that, we should not take lightly, and we should not be aware of all the doings when it is concerning us, because their doings are of evil. On this Shabbat, as we are communing with the Father and the angels and the rest of us in the world that have been tapped and are respecting his Shabbats, we give our praises for you and your families, and we pray that all the families on this Shabbat that are celebrating the Father is covered in this hour. As the devil's day comes in tomorrow, and as the elections are coming in all turmoil, and as the asteroid that is coming over, and as the volcanoes and the earthquakes, as your earth travails, Father, I pray on this Shabbat for the covering and joy and rejoicing of your daughters of Zion and of your brave warriors of Judah and of Ephraim, of Yerushalayim, Father. We pray this on this night because the time is thick. It is time to start loving the law instead of dodging the Most High's law. It is time to start embracing our power and giving love to our Creator for giving us this power. This 24 hours, meditate with Him. Be thankful. If you can't get peaceful, just continue to say, Father, I'm trying to get in your peace. Please put me in a place of peace. I'm not pleased, but I pray unto you, Palal. I pray unto you because you hear my prayers. Only an oppressor wants you to beg unto them. Our Father only asks us to pray and to cry out loud in our distress. That's a true Father. Father doesn't want his child to have to beg for him to come running to help. A father doesn't want to be there after it's too late to help their child. A father doesn't want to be there any other time but the right time to do the right thing. And that's what righteousness is about. Because salvation is what our Father wants for us. And as you as a mother, a daughter of Zion, and you as a father out here in Judah and Ephraim, all you want is for your children to be better than you, to be happier than you, to be more fuller than you. So that salvation is what you want for your children, and so does the Father want for us. So on this night that He's provided peace for us, before we go into this Hellenistic night tomorrow, really meditate, cut things off, be in the Spirit, read some scriptures, let the scriptures read to you. Get you a KJV on YouTube and let it read to you. Let the scriptures be read. The Most High will tell you what to pay attention to. Promise you. With that said, we are complete for the night. Be prayed up and be anointed, like Aaron said about Jordan. You know, get you some oils, man, frankincense and myrrh. Burn your frankincense and myrrh as we're doing around here. You know, take you some good baths and cleanse yourselves and be in prayer in that heat and that water. Be in the candles, be in His light. Man, you know, at the end of the show, as of the last two shows, I've been kind of in a cross, guys. I want to tell you, go and be happy, be joyful, and rejoice in the fact that all these calamities are coming and that we're covered. And then now there's another part. It's like, yo, everybody just run and just be in meditation with the Father. Just get you some minutes, man. Clock yourself in some personal time with the Most High and yourself, so that you can get yourself aligned. So with that said, all praises. We'll see you guys on Monday. Shalom. This is part 1 of false prophets. We will get to false prophets part 2 on Monday night. I remember, there ain't but one sun in the sky, one moon, the stars, and the Most High. Don't get caught up in the sauce. Shalom.